Howdy, you ready for the grind to continue? I sure am. Anyway, hello everybody, welcome back to another Origin Showcase video. In this video, I'm going to be showcasing a unicorn-based Origin made by the user known as Eyes from the Origin's Discord server. Now, you all know the drill by now. This is a 1.17 based Origin. You might be able to get it to function 1.16, but I don't suggest doing it because it might break certain things in these actual Origins here, as these Origins data packs that get made for specific versions that get used in. There are things that do break when you transfer versions, regardless if you go from 1.16 to 1.17 or go from 1.17 to 1.16. Anyhow, the unicorn is a true impact Origin. Running through the description, you were once a horse and you're now one with the clouds. So, let's begin by going through all the abilities. The first ability of choice here is the Acrobat's ability. You never take any form of fall damage no matter what height you fall from. Now, 99.9% sure that a majority of people watching this video already understand the brief meaning of that. Practically speaking, you can go anywhere, any height, fall, no damage, never ever. Feather falling is ultimately useless. Anyway, moving to the next ability, you've got Vegetarian. You cannot digest any meat. So you know those steaks, those beautiful delicious foods you like to eat most of the time, like those chickens or whatever automatic farm you create? Well, yeah, they're pretty much useless because, you know, you can't eat that. You can only eat vegetables. Sounds like a perfect fit for the vegan t-shirt Origin I made a little while back. Anyhow, moving to the next ability, we've got Unwieldy. The way that your hands are formed, because you're a horse, provides no way of holding a shield upright. You mean, it only makes sense the fact that this is a thing because, well, you're meant to be a horse. Hooves can't hold anything at all. But you know, this is Minecraft, so you have to be able to hold something, so shields it is. Goodbye shield. Practically speaking, you can pin the shields in your main hand or your offhand, but you just can't right click and actually use it functionally, so that's about it to that one. It removes the functionality of the shield itself. Moving to the next ability, you've got Cloudbed. You need to sleep behind the clouds. Now, okay, this probably makes absolutely no sense to you. You're probably saying, you need to sleep behind the clouds. What, does that mean you just need to sleep high up in the air? At around the Y level of 80 blocks is roughly where you want to be if you want to go sleep in a bed. Anything lower than the 80 mark will require you to it'll just tell you no, you can't sleep, you don't sleep, no sleep. In fact, I don't think you can even set your spawn if it's not high enough either, so it's a bit of an inconvenience, yes, but hey, next up we're gonna have giant mountains, so you're gonna be easily able to get up stupid high anyhow, so I don't see it too much as a problem. Maybe you do, I don't, it's a funny thing anyhow. Moving into the next ability, you've got Hail Fear. A creature of the clouds shall not be strong in the underworld. So you get the gist of this right. Practically speaking, because you're a creature who lives up in the clouds, you're a magical, mystical creature. The Nether is kind of a dangerous place for you and you're much weaker in the Nether. Let's go over what happens when you enter the Nether. Once you enter the Nether, you will be given not only slowness 3, not only weakness 3, but also mining fatigue 3. Ultimately, a terrible combo if you ever want to go exploring in the Nether. Practically mean that you really can't go in the Nether with this Origin, which I don't know quite how to feel about that one. Also, can I just note that this seed had a bastion very close to spawn? Like, I've been playing around with Minecraft 1.16. I haven't done any proper Nether exploration or any proper survival maps for a little while, but I don't think I've ever seen a Nether bastion so close to spawn on just a random seed, because I don't pick seeds for these videos. I just randomly generate a world and hope for the best and hope I get a decent one. Hence the reason why you see some weird and wacky shenanigans. Maybe I should drop seeds in the description. Let me know what you think about that. Also while you're doing that, hit the like button and subscribe. Either way, getting back to the video, move on to the next ability. You've got Nightmare. You're one with the sun. The night makes you weak. Practically speaking, you don't want to be out at nighttime because you get a bunch of disadvantages, which the disadvantages of which are thankfully not as overkill as going into the Nether. Practically speaking, you just get weakness 4 while you're in the Nether. Nothing. Yes, 𝓵𝓲𝓷𝓴𝓼, the Nether. The Nether is what we're talking about. You only get weakness 4 while you're out at nighttime, but that's about it. There's not too much else to that ability. It's simply weakness 4. Weakness 4 is still a bit of an annoyance to deal with though, because that's 4 times weaker than normal, so overall, it still sucks. Anyway, moving into your next ability, we've got Clear Sky. You don't like seeing the clouds crying, so when you can, you will clear the weather while you're holding a water bucket. Now, this is definitely an interesting one to say the least. This gives you the ability to disable not only just normal rainstorms, but full-on thunderstorms in the game itself. Practically speaking, while you're holding a bucket of water in your hand, you can press your secondary ability button in order to clear the rain. This will also activate your secondary ability at the same time, which we'll go over in a moment, but the main thing we're focusing on here is by using a bit of your magic, you can activate the water bucket to clear the rain in the sky. One of the more interesting parts about this though, if you do this, it disables your primary ability for a short amount of time too, which we'll go over your primary ability in a moment too, because essentially speaking, the magic cooldown is what works for both your primary ability as well as his ability to get rid of the rain and potentially something else in amongst this origin that we are yet to look at. So it's something to keep in mind when you're doing this. If you're in the middle of a fight and it starts raining, you're better off to finish off the fight before you do get rid of the rain, because it will use your magic abilities, meaning you can't use your primary ability for a moment. Anyhow, moving into the next ability, this ability you've probably seen use in clips here and there, and I'm trying not to use the ability, but it activates every time you sprint, is the ability to fly. You're able to fly through the clouds. Now, the big thing to keep in mind here, this is a literal flying, not just a simple elytra gliding, nor the creative flight. It is, practically speaking, as we've seen with many other origins that do this, making it so that you can swim through the air. But unlike most of the other origins that also have this ability, this one is far easier to actually activate and is not as annoying to deal with. All you need to do is simply sprint. Once you press your sprint key to start sprinting, you'll automatically be in this fly mode, and you'll be going about as fast as you would be if you were sprinting normally, because you do have like the other things that we'll go over in a moment. With simplicity kept in mind here, not only is it extremely easy to activate by hitting your sprint button, but it's also really easy to deactivate regardless of how high you are up in the sky. All you need to do to deactivate is press the spacebar button to jump, and then it deactivates the ability entirely and you'll fall back down to earth regardless of how far you were up, which is a good reason why you don't take fall damage, because it allows you to fall back down to earth after you disable your flight when you're up in the air. Moving into the next ability, you've got cloud jump. You can boost yourself into the clouds. Now this is the secondary ability that you'll activate at the same time when just dealing with the water in the air. Jeez. Practically speaking, it isn't exactly too much of a jump overall. In fact, overall, I think it's just a very useful double jump, because the jump itself isn't exactly too much higher to how you can actually jump in Minecraft with this origin, but it is useful there nevertheless. Except for the fact that you can fly. Practically speaking, because the unicorn has the ability to fly, I feel like that the secondary ability is pretty much defunct and useless, because you can fly. You can fly to get to higher places. You can double jump, but you can also fly. So, I don't know. The secondary ability feels a little bit useless, but, you know, that's just one of those type of things that can happen after a while. Okay, scratch that. It turns out I lied. The type of jump that I got when I was playing around with it originally was the one that you get when you use the water clearing ability. But this jump can vary a lot depending on how you approach the jump. If you jump first and then use your cloud jump ability, you might jump a little bit, or you might skyrocket into flipping space with that exact same jump. It's very random, it's very unpredictable, it can be pretty useful at times, and sometimes it's just worthless because it does nothing. Again, I still stand by the same sentiment. Having any form of super jump or super bounce in any way, shape or form is kind of defunct by itself when you add a flying ability of any sort, unless it's elytras. Moving on to the next ability though. Moving into your next ability, we have imaginary. Since you're an imaginary creature, your skin is translucent. Why are you guys looking at me expecting me to explain how this works? I'm sorry, but you can see it, please. Jokes. Anyway, moving on to the next ability. Horn. Because of your horn, you are unable to use the helmet spot. What? Do you expect a unicorn to be able to wear a flipping armor of any sort on their flipping head? Like, come on. Minecraft doesn't have unicorn specific helmets, goddammit. You're gonna have a horn, and it's gonna be in a spot where you can't exactly put anything on top of that damn head, you know? So, you know, good luck. Have fun. I'm sorry, I'm making too many stupidness. Moving to the next ability, you've got horse-like. You travel at high speeds and jump higher because you're a part horse. You've probably noticed that the entire time throughout this video, and I have no idea why this description's left to right at the end of the origin, but hey, now you know your super speed when you're a horse, you've got mega jumps when you're a horse, but it all gets defunct when you hit the sprint key because then you're flying instead of moving. So yeah. And moving to the next ability, you've got magic. You can shoot magic at your opponents. This is your primary ability, as I meant over a brief moment earlier this video. Yes, this was made in collaboration with the help of Slayer, this ability here, so it's kind of similar to how the Sans Blaster works, except for the fact that this actually functions and it actually does damage and you can accidentally kill yourself if you use it too close to you. So yeah, be careful with that one. Practically speaking, you're shooting fireworks from you, but instead of them going straight up like most fireworks do, they shoot in the direction that you're aiming, and they can go a pretty far distance before they actually explode. So overall, that's pretty cool and pretty unique, or well, really useful in and of itself. Either way, if you did enjoy this video, make sure to hit the like button down below. What do you think of this origin? What are your thoughts? Give me your thoughts down below. What's your rating? How do you personally feel about this origin? Either way, massive thank you to my channel members as always, and a massive thank you to my $10 member, 𝓵𝓷𝓷𝓴𝓼. But until next time, guys, goodbye.